Hi guys, it's Andy from Man City Fan TV. Well, we're here with a preview for the Swansea game on Saturday, the FA Cup quarter-final. And what I did was got in touch with Pete. This is Big Pete Official. He's one of the YouTubers for Swansea.
Alright Andy, thanks for having me on your channel to preview Saturday's game. You've given me 5 questions to answer and I'm going to give you 5 as well.
Let's have a look at the questions then. So, Pete said to me, my first question to you, Andy, is, so you've won 1 trophy already and you're probably the favourites for all the other 3. People are talking about the potential quadruple. What do you reckon the chances of that happening are? Well, I think I've said it before. I think quadruple is so difficult. Nobody's done it. Nobody's done it. Certainly in the Premier League, has never won the quadruple. We saw United in '99 do the treble. Premier League, you know, the FA Cup and the Champions League. Well, as it stands at the moment, we're still in 4 competitions. We're through now. The draw will be made tomorrow in the Champions League for the last 8. We're top of the league by 1 point in the Premier League. We've already won the Carabao Cup. We're in the quarterfinals against you guys, Swansea, on Saturday. So, yeah, we're still in it at this stage. Whether we'll do it, I'm not too sure. No, and like I said, there's a reason why it's so difficult to do, because there are so many games, certainly when you're in that many competitions. And we know what the Premier League is like. It's so difficult because it's games coming thick and fast. It's not like in other leagues where there might be 1 cup competition or, you know, 2, and they're not really in it and they don't take it seriously. I think City and Pep are taking it very seriously on all 4 fronts. So your question, do you reckon we can do the 4? No, I don't think we will. I think we've got a massive opportunity to basically to do 3. Which 3 is up for debate, but I'm going to go, and if I have to fall on it right now, I'm going to say we'll win the Premier League, we've won the Carabao Cup, and we'll win the FA Cup. And I think we'll just go short on the Champions League again. It depends on the draw. We might get a lucky draw tomorrow, get through to the semis, and then it's, like I said, the Champions League is a cup competition. It's one of those, sometimes over 2 legs. Yeah, things can happen. Bad refereeing decisions, injuries, suspensions, a red card, that type of thing. So you're up against the best in Europe, and normally the better teams at the time are playing, certainly in March, get through to the last 8, and it's all the best teams in Europe. Really, when you look at it, Barca, we've got Liverpool, Spurs, United, City, you've got Juventus, etc. So, will we win the quadruple? My simple answer is no. I don't think we will. I'd love us to. It'd be the best achievement ever from an English team. But no, I don't think so. I'm going to go 2 domestic trophies plus the Premier League, and I think this season we'll get the treble. So that's my first answer to your question, Pete. My first question back to you then was Swansea. You're currently 15th in the Championship. How's your season gone so far? So this is what Pete had to say.
Yeah, it's a good question. I think it's going relatively well, to be honest. Often there's an expectation when teams go down, they're just going to go straight back up. Look at the Stoke and West Brom, obviously they sacked their managers, but I don't think there was any expectation from Swansea fans that we were going to go straight back up. The club's been in a mess over the last couple of years under the American owners. I think we've had something like a 70 million net profit. So for Graham Potter to come in, considering we've sold most of our players and he's had to bring in a lot of youth academy players in Dan James, Joe Rodon, George Byers, Connor Roberts, for them to go straight into the team and for us to be comfortably mid-table in the Championship, I think he's done quite well.
So, Pete's second question to me was, you've just beat Schalke 7-0 midweek. Winning by those sorts of margins has become a regularity over the last couple of years. Is this your favourite Man City team of all time? It's difficult to, unless you saw the teams of the late 60s, very early 70s, it's very difficult to judge. Certainly in my lifetime, like I said, I've said it many a times, my first game was 1977. I missed out just on that 76 cup winning team, all the greats. So is it the best I've seen? Absolutely, by a million miles. I've not seen a City team anywhere near what we did last season or some of the football we played this season. So yeah, it's a special team, and depending on what we win this season, I think that will be where we sit in the greatest team, certainly in the Premier League era. Because you can argue, I mean, football has changed so much from the 70s, 60s, and even the 80s, it's changed. So if we were to get back-to-back Premier League titles, and we've already got one cup, and if we were to win a treble as well, even if it's the FA Cup, I would say for the last two seasons, Man City have possibly been the best team we've seen. I think, personally, footballing-wise, we're the best team we've seen, certainly last season. Definitely. And we're on record to, or on track to break the all-time goal-scoring record in one season, and we're only 20 goals behind it, and we've got loads of games still left. So that'll be another record broken by this Pep record-breaking team. So we smashed all the records last season, and we're going to break more records this season, I believe. So is it the best I've ever seen, Pete? Yeah, it certainly is. Certainly last season in particular. And you know, if we win a treble, or even a double, you might, and it's back-to-back Premier League titles, you'd have to say that it's got to go down as one of the greatest teams in Premier League history, in my opinion. So, going on to my next question to Pete, and that was, your goal difference is only +2 in the Championship. Who are your danger players and why?
Yeah, we're relatively sound at the back. We've conceded less goals than Norwich this season, or obviously top of the league. I think the problem's more in that we're not scoring enough goals. We've only really got one goal scorer in the whole squad in Ollie McBurney. He's been ill for the majority of this calendar year, so it's difficult to see where the goals are going to come from against a Premier League winning defence. Our second top goal scorer is Bertrand Selena, who obviously got from Man City in the summer. And he said actually before the quarter-final draw that he wanted to get Man City to prove a few people wrong. So if we are going to get any goals against you, then it'll probably come through him.
So Pete's third question to me was, who's been your standout player this season? I mean, everybody's, you know, got their own opinion on this. And speaking to fans on Tuesday night outside the stadium, they had Aguero, they had Sterling, they had Bernardo, they, you know, each to their own, and it's all subjective. But I'm going to put it down to two players. I'm going to omit Sergio Aguero, and I know that's blasphemy, and I do apologise, but if we have to take on the fact that neither Bernardo Silva or Raheem Sterling take penalties or free kicks, those two guys have been incredible this season. Raheem he's been a revelation. We thought last season he was brilliant and did really, really well. This year he's took it to another level. The guy is just simply incredible. 24 years of age, and he's just stepping up. More goals, more assists are gonna be this season. So Raheem Sterling's got to be up there. But for me, he's not scored anywhere near the goals that the likes of Sane, Aguero or Raheem Sterling has. But I think this season, especially when we've had Fernandinho out of the team, we've had David Silva having breaks, we've had Kevin De Bruyne injured, I think Bernardo Silva this year has just been incredible. Absolutely incredible. He might not have gotten the goals that Raheem has or Sergio has, but he's so flexible in regards to where he can play. He can play in that just ahead of the central defensive midfielder. He can play out wide right. He can play on the left of midfield. He could even play out left wing. And his energy levels and the distance he runs and everything else, and his interlinking plays, it's absolutely been brilliant. And no wonder we've just signed him till 2025 and basically nearly doubled his wages. So for me, at this moment in time, it'll be a toss-up between Raheem and Bernardo. But yeah, I'm going to try and be objective and think about the impact. And it's hard because people say goals, that Raheem and assists, but I'm going to go Bernardo Silva. I think he's made the difference this season, and that's nothing taken away from Raheem. I think he's just been incredible, and I don't care who it is, because there's been 3 players in particular who've been immense: Sergio, Raheem Sterling and Bernardo Silva. But Bernardo Silva, for me, is going to be the person I would vote for right now, but who knows what's going to happen at the end of the season. My question back to Pete was, question number 3 was, what's the atmosphere going to be like at the Liberty Stadium? Because it's known to be a bit loud on occasion. So what are your thoughts, Pete?
Yeah, the atmosphere should be really good. It's our biggest game of the season. FA Cup quarter-final at home to the Premier League champions. It's not going to get bigger than that for us this season. So yeah, it should be really loud. So
my question from Pete back to me is, obviously you have one of the best squads in the world. Are there any weak spots in your team? It seems that everybody with opposition fan channels that we talk to always ask the same questions: where are the weak links? And I always keep saying it's really difficult, because you only have to look at Tuesday night. At the end, we had 4 midfielders playing as centre-backs and right backs and left backs. We've got some amazing players in the squad as a whole. I do think on occasions our fullbacks can be caught out with a dinked cross or a big cross. But you're going to have to be very quick, and that's the problem. You're going to have to really counter fast. Whether you've got the players to counter that quickly, I'm not sure you have. But if you do get us on a break and there's any sort of dinked over the top for a winger running in, we have been caught out on a few occasions, certainly this season, with Zinchenko, with Walker, even with Danilo and Otamendi at times. But it's very difficult. I always say it, the biggest problem with Man City when we've not played well is complacency. But I think after, I said it on previous videos with fan channels, I think after the Newcastle game, Pep just absolutely tore into him and said, this will never ever happen again on my watch. You will not play like that again. You will not take games in a complacent manner like you did tonight, and we got beat. And since then, we've gone on a massive run. We've done brilliantly well, played some great football. Not always the best, but you know, to be fair, like Watford, on Tuesday night against Schalke, that first 20 minutes, we haven't been great. I mean, first half against Watford, we weren't brilliant. So if you were to get an early goal and try and get us cold, hit us on the break and get a goal, that could change everything. But there's no real weak links in the team that I can say, oh, you need to watch out for, or do this or do that. We're just so strong in all areas, and we don't know who's going to play. Certainly on Saturday we'll find out who is injured and who isn't tomorrow at the Pep press conference after the UEFA Champions League draw that takes place at 11 o'clock in the morning. So weak links, complacency is the biggest one, I think, certainly for Manchester City. So on to my fourth question. I said, who do you fear from Man City at the weekend? And that's over to you, Pete.
Where do you start? I mean, you have so many attacking threats: Raheem Sterling, Bernardo Silva, Leroy Sané, but the main man has to be Sergio Aguero. Over the last 8 years, he's been your main goal threat, and if we're able to keep him quiet the weekend, I'll be very happy.
And finally, Pete's final question was, what's your score prediction going to be? Like I said, I say it every time, I'm always rubbish at these. I said 3-1 against Schalke, it was 7-0. Got pretty close to the Watford game, 3-1. Depends who we play. I'm gonna go 4-0. I'm going to go 4-0 City. I think we're on a real run of goals, and I think we'll get an early one. Put the tie to bed, though you might get a goal, but I think we'll go for it. Get 2-3-0 up, relax, and then maybe get one near the end. And I'm going to go 4-0. I'm sorry for that, Pete, but I think Pep's going to take this seriously. It's going to be a very strong team on Saturday, and there'll be a few changes. I'm sure they are. The likes of Mahrez, I think, will come back in. Maybe Sterling will be rested. Gabby Jesus may come in for Aguero, but all of those, it's like all of them in the squad, they've got points to prove. They're all fighting for places. We're in 4 cup competitions, and they all want a place in all of them, and especially the Champions League and the Premier League game. So they've got to be on the game. So yeah, I think it'll be a strong team. I think we might get an early goal, and that might put it to bed. So I'm going to go Swansea 0, City 4. Which leads me on to my final question to you, Pete, which is the same one. What do you think the score will be on Saturday?
I like to stay optimistic, so I'll say a 2-1 win, but I wouldn't be surprised if you pumped us 7-0, to be honest. Thank you, Andy, for inviting me on your channel. If you want to check me out, go to youtube.com/BigPeteOfficial, and I'll see you at the Liberty on Saturday.
Anyway, a massive thank you to Big Pete Official on YouTube, Swansea vlogger, YouTuber. If you want to go over on YouTube and look at youtube.com/Big Pete Official. He does all the vlogs for the Swansea YouTube fan channels. Anyway, I want to say a big thanks to him for coming on Man City Fan TV. This is Andy. Don't forget, subscribe, click notification, comment below the video what you think your squad prediction will be for Saturday. Don't forget also, first thing in the morning, 11 AM GMT, Ray's going to be doing a live vlog on YouTube about the Champions League draw, so he'll do a bit of a build-up. You can ask him some questions. I'll be moderating it. And then tomorrow night, around about 5:30 to 6 PM GMT, I'm going to be doing a live vlog Q&A session with all the followers and subscribers of Man City Fan TV. If you want to give us a question ahead of that we can answer, we'll give you a shout out. If you give us a question below, we'll give you a shout out in particular, and we'll answer your question. It can be about anything. It doesn't really matter. But anyway, thank you very much for all the ones that are following us, subscribe to the channel. It's brilliant. Like I said, we're a young channel. We're only 9 months old, and we've already smashed through that 7,000 subscribers, which is absolutely amazing. We're going to try and push as hard as we can for 10,000 by the end of the season, which would just be unbelievable. But anyway, it's Andy from Man City Fan TV. It's Thursday evening. Have a great night, and don't forget, check us out 11 in the morning GMT for the live Champions League draw. See you soon, guys. At Man City Fan TV, we're really pleased to promote this wonderful sketchwork, artwork by a lady called Leslie Ross. You can follow Leslie on Twitter at 111Leslie111, and also follow her on Facebook and Twitter at 9320art.